the good thing about being in the criminal justice system is that I know America could never be just taken over by America.
Yeah.
like NYPD don't get along with the fucking corrections officers. Like, how the fuck are you guys gonna Hydra up this country? Like, it is not happening. Like, you guys don't have the
unity.
Like, you guys don't have the will or the desire to work.
Yeah.
All these like steps that have to work together, y'all not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, this shit would turn into militias real fast.
Yeah. They were still using fax, like we're still requiring fax things to like security orders to be faxed up until very recently. And it's like, who uses fax machines in 2020?
If you live in New York City, clerk's offices won't leave email. And they don't all use EDDS. And they require personal service. So they require personal service and they require faxes. So I literally have to have a fax machine account solely for the fact that I might have to go upstate.
Yeah.
And for a long time, even like the magistrate courts in the Eastern District of New York and Southern District of New York, I couldn't email them my notices. I would have to fax them because you can't file them.
But when you fax,
in the public file.
you're doing like an email fax, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're not like throwing it through the machine.
No. I have to have this fax system solely for this.
Yeah.
You gotta pay a fee for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's a very funny thing because it's still a real issue.
Yeah.
And there is this, I think it's a misnomer, right? That this idea that faxes are more secure, but since we do them electronically now, they have the exact same effect as an email.
An email, yeah.
It makes no sense.
So what I want to know is, right, I do, because I have like, my job provides me with that fax ability. Are they getting it on their fax email, or is it coming to a machine?
So it depends.
Because it sounds like we just emailing each other, homie. Like, if I'm using a digital fax and you're using a digital fax, it sounds like we're emailing each other.
So
am I fucking?
when I was in the DA's office, I was getting a digital fax. It showed up in the thing. I popped it open. It was a group. Everybody had the same faxes. If you didn't get it quickly enough, you had to go through everybody's faxes, which is really not secure, right?
Yeah.
Like paper. You mean paper?
Yeah.
Or paper?
No. I mean like the fax mailbox on our portal.
Oh, so there was a mailbox, digital mailbox.
So just like you get a fax and you get and you go in, there's a log of all the faxes. It's the same thing. So like if you were for example, if you were in early case assessment complaint room ECAP, you got the fax, it went there, and you had to go get it. And if you didn't get it fast enough, you had 10 other new faxes, and you had to figure out which one was yours. And and the number is the same number for the precinct, right?
Yeah.
So now I fax to the courts, and some courts they're 100% looking at it in like a digital mailbox.
Yeah.
But some of them are like, let me check the fax machine.
Yeah. I was gonna say DOC still deals with paper. Like there are a lot of their stuff they have to have in paper. Like they're like, oh, the paper, the card, the physical card didn't make it to this person's desk, so we can't do anything.
It's weird though. They might be ahead of the curve because Microsoft went down.
Yeah.
You like paper now, motherfucker? Like, you like paper now? I was telling my wife, nah, they got shit on paper. I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
Like, my job didn't stop because Microsoft went down. I don't think.
You know, I gotta tell you, I got a call from the clerk's office that Friday, and they were like, "Don't come.
Really?
Don't come. Nothing works. You can't even pay anything." Like, so they wouldn't accept payments. So, like, if you were trying to post bond last Friday when Microsoft went down,
Really? That's fine.
it's very possible your family member, your loved one, had to sit there because they weren't accepting any money from you.
Check out the civil rights litigation lawsuit, and that sounds like some money for you. Check it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say NYPD, like they weren't arraigning, like they weren't bringing people to arraignments because like their systems were down, so people were waiting longer than 24 hours to get arraigned. Yeah.
Do you remember that happened during COVID?
Yeah.
They had it was like an electric power issue because there wasn't enough people working to maintain the grid. So they lost electricity in several central bookings in the city of New York in the summer of 2020. And I was back at work by July. Like everybody else was not working for a long time. Not me. July I was back to work. Literally they were making me appear in court.
Wow.
So I remember this, and I remember
I was in Miami.
So I'm getting this. I have a client who's sitting in the precinct. He sat there for 2 days on like a DWI case because they couldn't bring him to central booking because everything was messed up. And I remember this, and I was thinking to myself, like, what happened in these situations? And there's no chance he's getting bail.
Yeah.
Not bail eligible. They could have given him a DAT. They do it in every other part of the state of New York.
Yeah.
But the city of New York was like, no. You got to sit here and wait for 48 hours that you never needed to be in custody.
Because the city of New York don't give a fuck.
So from your perspective, getting back to bail reform, how do we fix these things? Right? Like these are ridiculous issues. And I think that's the whole point, right? The whole point of this Reform Act is like, even the federal government doesn't do this to people.
Yeah.
With all their power and the fact that the case they have, they're going to ask for prison anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to ask for prison. They still don't do this to people. So how do we fix this?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is like shifting the narrative and shifting the culture. I mean, obviously we have the elected leaders that we have in New York State and in the city, and they have a very anti-bail reform, very carceral view of like the criminal legal system broadly. And so it's really, I think, on us in terms of like the regular everyday folks, like the people, the people who they're supposed to represent, to like advocate and care about these issues. I do think that there's a lot of room for public education, because we see this every time they attempt to roll back bail reform, or, you know, you go interview folks on the street and they're like, oh, like they'll say things that are just completely not true under the law. It's like, oh, they can't lock anyone up. Nobody's eligible for bail anymore. It's like, that's not true. There's a lot of